So today I want to make a video about my nursing journey as a nurse, becoming a nurse practitioner, and I kind of want to tell you guys why I became a nurse, how I became a nurse, and everyone has been asking me this, what was the process and what led me to where I am right now, which is a pulmonary and critical care nurse practitioner. So yeah, so let's talk about that. Grab your coffee. It's gonna be a story time. Hi everyone! So I decided to film a video today because I have some energy. I actually, if you guys don't know, I actually have been 7 months pregnant and I haven't really been drinking a lot of coffee, but today is a special day. It is special, yes it is. It is Nurses Day and it's a Nurses Week this week, so I had a reason to drink my coffee today. Here you go. Just so you guys know, you can actually drink coffee. It just has to be like a certain amount of like caffeine that you have to drink every day. So I don't really drink coffee except for days when I'm like super tired or yeah. But today is a special day, so we're drinking some coffee. How are you guys doing? So if you guys don't know me, my name is Ms. Vane or Elaine. I am a nurse practitioner and yeah, so welcome to my channel. If you like nursing related stuff, lifestyle, gaming, or anything else, I mainly post nursing stuff. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And so let's start. I want to film now before I run out of energy. By the end of the day, I'm already dead. so let's start now while my energy is still fresh. So today I want to film a video and I kind of want it to be like a sit down talking story time kind of video, since it is Nurses Week and it's the start of Nurses Week. If you guys don't know, May 6th to May 12th is usually Nurses Week, and that's the week that we celebrate all the nurses that's been working hard, especially at this time of pandemic. And I know that it's not supposed to be the only week that we celebrate nurses, because nurses are very important. They play a big role in the healthcare system. So yeah, so today I want to make a video that celebrates nurses and what more. Sorry, I'm like out of breath. Oh my god, is this how it is when you're pregnant? So today I want to make a video about my nursing journey as a nurse, becoming a nurse practitioner, and it's gonna be short and sweet, hopefully, but I babble a lot when I'm like a lot of energy. Yeah, so I am Filipino. I know, I pretty much like really fall into that stereotypical like Filipino nurses, because I know that there's a bunch of Filipino nurses out there, but nursing wasn't initially the first choice that I have as a career. I knew I wanted to work in healthcare field. My dad was a doctor, is a doctor. My dad is a doctor, and then my mom's a nurse. So growing up, I've always been around kind of like healthcare related things. I remember when I was younger, after school would go to my dad's clinic waiting for him to be off of work, so we'll just like sit there, like my sister and I, and yeah, we see him seeing patients. And at that time I was like, my dad was like my role model, so it's like I want to be just like my dad. So initially I really wanted to be a doctor. So yeah, so like 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago, my family decided that they want to move here in America because they feel like we have better opportunities in here. So we moved here. I was actually in the Philippines. If you guys don't know, back then we don't have middle school. I graduated high school when I was like 16 years old. 16 years old, yeah, I was 16 when I graduated high school. So at that time, that was a time that I actually moved here in America. And in the Philippines, I was taking pre-med classes because in my mind I was like, I wanted to be a doctor. So that was the whole reason. And then when we went to America, my mom's like, why don't you just be a nurse? Like, nurses, like, it's a very lucrative career. It's a really good career to get into, you know, Filipino moms. And then so I ended up taking up nursing when I went here. I was only 16 at that time. And I love science in general. Anatomy, I love that classes. So I really enjoyed learning. So I ended up taking up nursing, and it took me 4 years to finish nursing. I was 21 when I became when I graduated nursing. I never knew how much I liked nursing until I actually started to become a nurse. I know a lot of times we complain about our jobs, and oh, by the way, I have no notes or anything right now, so this is just kind of like an open topic or open talk that I'm doing right now. But back then, I never really liked nursing until I became a nurse. So I never knew how much impact that nurses make for patients' care until I became a nurse. Because you know, when you're in nursing school, like, you learn all these things, but honestly I feel like the majority of the things that I know now, I learned it all when I was already a nurse, not even from nursing school. But I graduated in college, and then I took the boards and I got my registered nurse license. I knew that critical care has always kind of piqued my interest since I was in nursing school, because I did a rotation in a critical care unit, and I really like the environment. I think I thrive in places that fosters learning, and you deal with like really sick patients. Like, I like the challenge. So not saying that any other specialties is not a challenge, but like, that's the kind of challenge that I liked at that time. I had to work in the ICU, but you know, most ICUs, they don't hire new grads. They want you to transition first from like a telemetry floor to the ICU usually. At that time, I knew I wanted to work in the ICU, so I really got like the thickest face. I took my resume and I went to the nursing director of the critical care unit in our county hospital, and I told her, I don't know if you're hiring or not, but I really want to work here. Here's my resume, and please consider, you know, taking a look at it and hiring me, because I really want to learn and I really want to work here. So I did that, and surprisingly, it worked. So since then, I've always worked in the ICU. I've never worked anywhere else. I've floated in the ER, I've floated in the med-surg floor, but majority of the time that I was a registered nurse, I worked in the ICU. And I really like the ICU, and I don't know why, but it's just, it fits right into my personality. Like, they like to be very particular on certain things, and I'm that kind of person. So I really thrived in that specialty. I worked ICU for like 7 years. I initially worked in our county hospital, and that was the craziest like new grad experience I've ever had. We deal with like really crazy trauma patients and really busy patients. Like, we get 2 vented patients on multiple drips, and month or week there's someone coding. So it's a really high acuity, you know, place to work at, and I learned so much from it. And it's not the easiest place to start working as a new grad, but I learned so much, and I knew at that time, anywhere I go, that I'll be fine, I'll be okay. So I ended up moving up north because I kind of want to spread my wings and fly, move out of my parents' house. So I ended up working in a neurosurgical ICU over there, and I I liked it as well. It's a different kind of specialty. I worked there for like 2-3 years, and then or 2 years, yeah, I think 2-3 years, and then I ended up working in the float pool, in the ICU float pool. And in the ICU float pool, I float in the burn ICU, surgical ICU. I even go to the ER to take care of ICU patients. It's a big academic hospital. I've always loved teaching hospitals, so those are the 2 places that I worked at, and they're mainly teaching hospitals. I was really busy at work, and although bedside nursing has its like good days and bad days, I realized that I want to advance my career, and I wanted to be a nurse practitioner because I want to be able to do more for my patients. And honestly, I don't know if I can do bedside forever. It was already killing my back. I was having like sciatica pain, and I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, like it's not an easy job because you're turning patients every 2 hours in the ICU, and these are like heavy patients. Sometimes you have to turn them by yourself. You deal with like really sick patients for 12 hours and deal with their families, you deal with the pharmacists, you deal with the doctors, you deal with pretty much everyone else because you want to advocate for your patient. And I really love that job, but at the same time I gotta think of my physical health as well. So I ended up going to a dual track program, nurse practitioner school, and I learned with physician assistants and nurse practitioners as well. And so it's a really good place for me to get my master's degree. And at that time, and you guys have followed me since then, I didn't know what specialty I wanted to work at. Initially I wanted to be a trauma nurse practitioner, and that's what I was aiming for after graduation when I became a nurse practitioner. And I didn't get the job, and I felt like I wasn't good enough. At that time I was so depressed, like 3-4 years ago, when I didn't get that job, and I was like, I don't know, maybe it's not for me. And I feel like sometimes the world or fate has its like playful way of like telling you what you should be doing and what you should be not. And I feel like it's really true that luck exists somewhere in a world of planning, in a world of fate, because you kind of have to have a plan, but at the same time it has to coincide with fate wanting you to be there, if that makes sense. So it wasn't meant for me, so I ended up not getting it. So I've tried working in primary care and urgent care, and even tried to interview for aesthetic nursing, and here I am. You know what the funny thing is? I ended up in the same hospital where I worked at as a new grad nurse, in the same unit. So I feel that everything kind of fell into place, and I'm hoping that this is it, and this is where I'm gonna be retiring from, because I really do love this job. But yeah, so that's my nursing journey. Can't believe that it actually took this long to like kind of talk about it. I guess what I'm trying to say is that nursing is definitely not something that's for everyone. And I met my husband in nursing school, and he didn't like it, so he ended up quitting like halfway through. So it's not for everybody, and I always say, and it's so corny, I know some people are in it for the money, some people are not, but most of the people in the nursing profession are there because it is a calling to help other people, help their patients, and it just so happens that it's such a very lucrative career. So yeah, so for all the nurses out there, happy Nurses Week. Happy Nurses Day to all of you guys, to all of us. I admire all the nurses I've worked with, all the nurses who've taught me, nurses that I've taught how to become a nurse. I really love this profession and I want to see it grow more. And while it's nice to have all these free things during Nurses Week, during, you know, Nurses Day, I still think that we need to always hope for better nursing ratios. Need to work for better, safe working environments for nurses, especially at this time of the pandemic. Provide nurses with adequate PPEs. I know other frontliners too, but it's Nurses Week, so I'm just saying nurses. But yeah, like, I'm hoping for better collaboration with the healthcare team, the physicians. I'm hoping for independent practice for nurse practitioners here in California, especially in primary care. I'm hoping for more coffee, more spirits to lift, more time to do self-care, because we need that in our life, especially because we do so many selfless acts every day. If you're a nurse, thank you for what you do. Thank you for making a difference. I hope you're celebrated, not just today, not just this week, but every day. And I am very proud and I'm very glad that I chose this profession, because I know that I make a difference. Yep, that's it. And by the way, I want to just give a quick shout out to Barco. Barco sent me this really awesome care package for Nurses Week, and I'll post it on my Instagram. If you guys haven't followed me on my Instagram, follow me on my Instagram. And also Nurses Inspire Nurses is another great company that supports nurses, and they sent me a care package for nurses in my unit. Thank you guys for celebrating nurses, making nurses feel that they're appreciated. So yeah, so that's my video for today. And if you're considering to be a nurse or a nurse practitioner, feel free to ask me questions. My DM's open. I might not reply right away, but I try to get on the messages as much as I can. But that's it for my video. I hope you guys kind of learned something and just like listen to me do this story and get my energy out. Sorry, I'm like so out of breath the whole time. But yeah, so I'll see you guys next video. Later.